get started.
PTZOptics presents Back to the Basics Live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. A high-definition broadcast on Facebook, focusing on camera line tutorials with our Chief Streaming Officer, Paul Richards, and our social media manager, Tess Protesto. Back to the Basics Live. New videos every Wednesday.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show.
I'm Tess Protesto.
And I'm Paul Richards. And this is Back to the Basics.
I was like, is he going to say it? Am I going to? We got a fun one planned for you today.
We've done so many Back to the Basics. In fact, I think episode 10, we went through and looked at all the episodes.
Here we are 10 episodes later.
Yeah,
this is the 20th
episode?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we should have done a giveaway. Well, I didn't realize it was the 20th, but we've done so many episodes that we're starting to get into a little bit more advanced things. It's not so basic, but we're always responding to what you guys are asking for in the user group, and everyone kept asking. They're seeing people controlling cameras in the Xbox controller.
Yes, and you are not seeing things. It can be done, and we're going to show you how today.
You're not seeing things. It really is possible. There's at least 2 different ways that I know of, and I'm going to show you both ways today. In fact, when you boil it down, this Xbox controller is kind of almost exactly the same as this Logitech USB joystick. They're USB interfaces that have a joystick interface on them. I like the Xbox controller because it fits in your hand. It just works really nicely.
A little more fun and new.
So we'll show you this on vMix, but keep in mind you do need vMix 4K or above to have pan tilt zoom control. And then we'll show you it on Rokosoft, which has an IP controller that works with multiple USB joysticks. In fact, you can have 4 USB joysticks attached.
So we have some options there for
cool
you.
Stuff. So the way I wanted to show this off is, first of all, I wanted to just show the operations and show how fluid they are. And I thought this shot here would probably do it pretty good justice because you can see the joystick. Oh, sorry, I have my playlist on. There we go. So you can see the joystick, plus you can see the camera that I'm controlling. And I cannot believe how responsive it is. So I've programmed it for up, down, left, right, but look how good it spins around too. So it's not just left and right, but it's also
very fast.
Angled up, and it will show you how this is all set up, obviously. And then zoom out. And my favorite thing is, and there people have asked you, can you zoom, pan, tilt all at the same time? Look at this. Panning, tilting, zooming, all at the same time.
Okay, so there's an answer for a lot of your questions about the panning and zooming at the same time. With the Xbox controller, there's a solution for
Make
that
sure
problem.
you keep the controller on camera.
I'm scared.
So let's see it. Let's see how Tess is at this.
It moves quickly. It's not by any means slow pan.
You're right. It's not a slow pan,
But that
there's
can
not
be adjusted.
It can be adjusted. So for example, let's actually do that. So if we go into the PTZ of this one, we can change the speed down. Now is that slowing it down?
Yeah.
Look how slow it is now.
Wait.
Isn't that slower?
Yeah, that's definitely slower.
So there is speed control. So let's jump into test the NDI camera from your phone.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you behind the scenes how we have it set up here, and we're going to answer your questions along the way. I think Jason has a question in on the Facebook side, but as soon as that camera, I want to show you behind the scenes, guys, how we set this up. So let's pull in Tess's NDI camera. Where are you, Tess? Let's see. Are you broadcasting?
Mm-hmm. Try exiting out and going back in again because it just pressed red not too long ago.
All right, here we go. We're just going to pull in Tess's camera.
Last time it said Tess's phone. It's loading still.
Let's try mine. And you have the official NewTek one.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the Sienna one. So let's see which one comes in faster. Let's see. Come on, local area network. Here we are standing with iPhones. Sorry, guys. This was my plan to show you guys.
Now we're doing a little test whose NDI app will locate sooner on the network.
Okay.
At this point, neither.
Let's do, what I'll do is I'll go to this camera then. Our backup strategy will be
Always got a backup plan.
the over-the-shoulder
Jason
cam.
says, in vMix, the 4-way buttons do a slower move. It's the sons of glitches that you really have to watch out for.
All right, so here's this is, I gotta, so here's my NDI signal here. We gotta get this in. I can't believe it's not showing. That's so weird.
Never happened to us before, but then again.
So I guess we'll have to step you through this this way, because I don't see any other way of doing this. But basically, we will go ahead. Here it is. Okay, there we go.
Just in the nick of time.
Here we go, Tess. Okay. So Tess is going to show you the vMix setup here. So if you're unfamiliar with this, and let's go ahead and go, let's put quality up just one more hair, see if that looks any better. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the hamburger mode. I don't know if you saw that right there. That's a little shortcut for you vMix users. There's a little hamburger there. You click that and then you hit edit. And what that does is it brings up the shortcuts. So here are all the shortcuts. And when you do something like this, you can see, if you go really close, hopefully it'll get a little clearer. But we have basically the joystick right, PTZ move right. Joystick center, which would be nothing, which is center, PTZ move stop. We have left, move down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the right one and just do it with you guys right now. So joystick move right. You click the add button and then you hit find. And when you take the joystick and you hit, it's this one, right? Or was it this one?
It was the top one before.
This one, okay. So when we hit right, see how it says joystick right A? That's how it knows. And now, but the thing you have to remember is that nothing is a state, right? So that is something, center A. So you have to hold right with one hand and then click OK. Then go to function, and vMix has a whole PTZ function, PTZ move right, and then we click OK. So the thing that people forget, and I forgot, is that you also have to add this PTZ move stop. So that center button has to stop it. And the same is true for zoom. So you can see here, like here's my zoom stop. That's actually button up. So when nothing is pressed, it's telling it, oh, zoom stop. So let's go ahead and test this. And one of the things I learned is that you can see here, this is the preview here. So whatever's in preview, you have PTZ control of. So that's really smart. So I've got PTZ control of this camera. Now I've got PTZ control of this camera. And it's just so fluid. The zooming, panning, and the switching between cameras. And just to quickly explain this, and I'm sure the guys in the chat are probably saying this as well, is that the reason why you want to have control of what's in preview, not what's on the screen. So you set the camera up exactly where you want it, then you fade to the shot. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea. Put the chat room back. And are you showing Rokosoft as well? Yes. So next we're going to show Rokosoft. So that was, and if you guys have any questions about that, please let me know.
Am I good with this right now?
You're good? I'm going to zoom out. Sorry, that was in a weird spot. It's just so fun. Like, it's so easy.
It is
This
fun.
is like $20. It just makes sense. Hi, Joey. Good to see you. Zooming in and out. The triggers did not work, and I wanted the trigger to be zoomed so bad. I wasn't getting anything out of the triggers. I don't know if this is like a cheap knockoff Xbox controller. I had a wireless one that was legit and it didn't work, so I went with a cheapie to see if that worked. It did. So
Daniel's saying, is it not variable speed with the joystick?
that's a good question. That is a good question. Let's see.
The HC joystick and using the Xbox controller.
Oh, you're right. There's no variable control.
You have to manually
That's true.
set that.
So can we go back to the NDI cam speed real quick? I want to show that spot.
With the HC joystick.
Yes, with the regular serial and IP joysticks, it has variable speed, so that is nice. So one of the things I want to show here is that if we do go into the PTZ camera, this is something we should definitely cover before we go on to Rokosoft, is that we need the IP address of the camera. And let's show this real quick, Tess. We've shown this before, but it's worth mentioning. We just have a little cheat sheet here. So these are the IP address, the unique identifiers past our normal IP scheme of what each camera is. And then I even have the little Magewell cards written down too, just in case. But this allows you to quickly go ahead and say, all right, that IP address is here in case I forget for some reason. Yep, there we go. So once you've basically know the IP address, you do a drop down here. I'll disconnect and reconnect. You do a drop down and you'll see here there's like Panasonic, Sony, PTZOptics, even UVC, which we support. You go ahead and click PTZOptics, you type the IP address, and then you hit connect. And now you have pan tilt zoom control. And this is where you can change the speed. And that's just the speed of the joystick. And then position speed, that's the speed between presets. Okay. So I'll set a preset to show how that works really quickly. So we'll put the speed down a little bit. And so basically I've got 2 positions. So let's say that's 30. And I really like this update. So 30, that's what 30 is. Then we zoom in, do 31. There we go. Sorry about that. So we've created these 2. We've got 30 and 31 right there, right? And then we go, let's play this off. We go to these, and these actually create positions here. So a little farther down. These little PTZ inputs, those have been created. So when we click them, they go to the place that they are. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So those are, and it all happens in preview. Then we fade to the output. All right. Ta-da. Okay. So that's good there. Now the next thing we'll do, let me give this back to you.
The HC joystick does variable, and IP joystick do variable, yes. But the Xbox controller doesn't.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the Logitech Gamer.
Which joystick is doing variable? Yeah. So those 2 are. This one, I think actually, to be completely honest, I think that may have to do with vMix. Let's check if we can get variable PTZ speed with Rokosoft. So the next thing I'm going to show is Rokosoft. And this is a fun little app. And I'm going to show it via a desktop capture. So you're going to see a lot of Facebook coming in as well. But this app right here is running on a Windows computer. It's $300. It does IP. And I'm going to quickly go over some of the features here. So one, maybe if I get rid of this, it'll make it easier to see. One is we can do pan tilt zoom. So it's panning and tilting and zooming this camera. Oh, wait. Let's go back to 57, my front camera. So yeah, it's panning and tilting and zooming this. This program here is actually a lot more advanced. It's probably, I would say, the most advanced pan tilt zoom software that there is. So I'm probably not even going to be able to fully do it justice. But I'm going to try here. So right now, you got your virtual joy, which is just a virtual up, down, left, right. You've got your USB joystick, which also gives you hotkeys up here, but it also enables a joystick up here. So this joystick right here is now enabled, and I can pan, tilt, and zoom it. In fact, it might make sense to show this with the overhead. Is that the overhead? There. So now I've got control of it there like that. So that's how that works. I also can do hotkeys. So those are keys on a keyboard that can be mapped. And then I'm not even sure what PTZ ball is, to be completely honest. But you can name the presets, which is something that everybody loves. So like, for example, you could have, wall is number 1, and number 2 could be podium. And then when you go back to them, it should save the name. I guess you have to set it. So wall, set, move it a little, go to 2, call it podium, move it a little, set. And then so when we go back to these, they have their names, so you can kind of remember what they are. We have 6 IP cameras here that we can have stored in here. I've only got 4 stored. And the other thing they have here is they've got this slow button. So you can have slow 1, slow 2, slow 3, slow 4. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to answer the question that we got about variable PTZ speeds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and overlay this shot with the actual camera that we're going to use. So this is not working, and I'll show you why, because there's a little cog here that we can go into. And this cog, let's see if it opens up. This cog gives us even more information. It gives us our local IP address to pull up this software on any network, but it also gives us an outside IP address, which is really nice, so we can control from anywhere in the world. This is the software that the protocol we're using, PTZOptics. And then over here, you see he's got 4 different joysticks. So if I choose joystick 1, that
will allow you to control the PTZOptics camera remotely.
That should be the Xbox controller. Oh, I think I have to close it.
With that outside IP address?
Yes, with the outside IP address you can. So if I close that now. Oh, do I have it? I have it in 63. So there's that. Oh, because I don't have it on USB Joy. There's
Daniel
USB Joy.
argues the $399 Huddle Cam joystick price point is more attractive than the Rokosoft.
Let's see if it's variable. All right, so I don't think it's variable speed. No, it's not variable speed. So there, we did it, Tess. We showed off. Now,
can you run multiple PTZ overlay controls?
This camera's a little off. You can run multiple at the same time, which is interesting. And that's been a question that's come up a lot for various reasons. So for example, I've had people who use 3 IP joysticks right next to each other, one for each camera because they want them simultaneously to be controlled. You could do a serial joystick and an IP joystick at the same time. You could do Rokosoft and vMix at the same time. The only thing is that the camera's only going to respond to the one that's the most recent command. So all of the different, we have like different command protocols going on VIF for the IP joystick, Visca for the serial joystick. vMix is using CGI over TCP. So it's like different protocols, but none of them conflict with each other.
Nice. Ted said the PTZ ball likely enables the use of the trackball.
The trackball. Like that is what it is. Yeah.
Good,
thank you for that.
Good point there.
So yeah, and this was something that I was getting a lot of questions about it, and I agree. If I was going to go out and live stream, I would love to have one of these. And the thing that I like about it too is that it's completely like USB cheapy weepy.
Especially if you use vMix.
Now, I still really love, and we've covered this quite a lot, the IP controller, right? The iPhone controller. Still, I really like it. It's super good.
And like Daniel argued, Rokosoft is almost the same price as the HC joystick.
It is, and you get a physical joystick. But this is the, oh my.
Just depends what you like, what you
Now the iOS app, which is only $10, does have variable speed control.
Less than the Xbox
so
controller.
It's less than and you can just, there's got this little tap. It's got slow, fast, up, down, left, right. This is completely wireless. So you could go hundreds of feet away as long as you knew what you were doing.
If you're comfortable
and you can go left and
with
right.
a virtual joystick.
And then the only one that I haven't tested yet, which is going to be probably a next back to the basic, is NDI now has a studio monitor, which does give you video from the camera, especially through multicast. You can have it going to different places at the same time. And it should... Andrew Cross had this on our show when we had the horrible show that crashed right before Andrew Cross went on.
That was pretty bad.
He said on that
I can hardly
show
remember anything he said that day because of that.
He's going to have built-in support for the Xbox controller. So that's actually a free app that will work with any NDI camera that will work.
Ken loves the iOS app.
But yeah, the iOS app
glad
is
you're
great.
enjoying it.
It's so good. So you can't beat the iOS app. It's wireless. As long as you have the camera on the network and you got a Wi-Fi network, you can't beat it. Simply can't beat it. And I love vMix though. If you are a vMix user, this is pretty much, and you've got 4K. I mean, look at it. It really is nice. Now this is nice and slow. So we slowed it down. So you do have control of the speed, just not variable control of the speed. I don't think ever with Xbox. With vMix. I just don't think that you get it. So somebody is messing with our cameras because that one just, unless it's me, is
you never know.
It could be this darn Rokosoft. But who knows? But yeah, that was just something we wanted to show, and hopefully Let's see here. Let's get this camera back to action. And yeah, that's our show today. I'm going to roll the credits, and then we'll answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, so we forgot to show something really quickly from our Facebook user group. This was Hewitt,
yeah. He posted an amazing piece of footage that he compiled from a sports use case. And he had a drone flying around, basically filming where he had his PTZOptics.
What a cool little white tent that he had and everything. It must have been the summer. I see palm trees, I think, in the shadows.
Is awesome.
This is in the Facebook user group if you want to see it. I can't believe, I can't believe the playlist was on. I'll turn that off. How tall he got that PTZ camera on.
I know.
And it's almost like there's a battle to see who can get the tallest tripod in the Facebook user group. Look how tall that tripod is. Huge. So it's really, really big. Zoom that in a little. There's his setup there. And he's really excited about the NDI cameras like all of us are.
Mm-hmm. There he lists the equipment that he's used.
Yep.
I thought this was a great little clip. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And feel free to head over to the user group, facebook.com/groups/PTZOptics pals, so you can share your content with us and find out more information, just like you saw from Hewitt.
Yes. We're doing special giveaways in the Facebook user group, and it's just a fun place. In fact, I forgot to mention that we do have a Facebook Live reaction question if anyone's interested. The question is, do you have an USB Xbox controller that maybe you could use without having to even buy anything? Do you have one laying around? Give us the sad face if you don't, because that kind of makes sense. Like, nope, don't have one.
And the wow.
The wow if you do. So let us know. We'll fill you guys in on what's going on there. How are the questions coming in?
Daniel says he's about to get 4 cameras for 20 presets. No way it could work without HW controller.
Okay. So yeah, hardware.
Hardwired or
hardwired. Yeah.
Either one.
I agree. And for $300 with that metal sturdy case, if that's the one you're planning on using,
I still prefer the HW.
It's big. It's nice. Tessa's got it right here, and it's got the lowest latency of almost anything. I did some latency testing, and I was surprised actually. The web browser itself on the local area network actually might even be a little faster, but I have to give or take 10 milliseconds because my testing.
Random Fandom is asking how to increase subscribers. We have a whole alternative channel called Stream Geeks where we talk a lot about branding and marketing your shows. So I would recommend checking that out.
Yeah, take a look at that because we don't cover that kind of questions here.
Joey, so the NDI monitor will have PTZ control for the source that is selected?
Yes. So that's nice. So you're going to be able to, with the NDI monitor, and I think this is a perfect deployment of, let me see if I have one of those little, here it is, one of these little Intel NUC computers. So NewTek is saying an i5 is what they want for NDI. So these little new mini NDI computers are great. I think it also is going to work on a Mac, but they build on the Windows platform. But these little NUCs, you can slap them on the back of a little monitor, plug in a Xbox joystick and a mouse. And now you've got the ability to pull up full HD, low latency, any NDI source on your network, and then control them. I mean, imagine, we're going to be rebuilding our studio based on NDI, and it's going to be really cool.
Mike's having an issue sometimes with the iOS app seeming to time out, and he has to reconnect. Have we ever found that before?
I have seen some funny issues with it, too. Like here it is right now, and if you just hit cancel, it seems to go back. It could be
Wi-Fi.
The only suggestion that I could have is maybe try there's with networking. Honestly, I'm not a super network professional, but try maybe just changing the IP address. the static IP address, bump it up or down one, and just see if that one is working better on your network. I'm not sure really. I mean, I've gotten it before. It doesn't seem to be largely consistent. It seems to just happen every once in a while. It just disconnects, which is not good. I actually get better consistency, I would say, with like the computer-based, like vMix, Rokosoft on a Windows computer than on these little iOS devices. But
that are just connected to the Wi-Fi.
It's coming from Android soon. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I got the beta for that. That should be coming soon if you guys are Android users.
I haven't looked at the Nook closely yet, but how many cameras can it handle?
So the Nook comes in 4 main flavors. There's a Celeron, which you can't really do anything with. There's an i3 that you could use to deploy. They're really cheap, by the way, these Celerons and i3s. That's the processor inside of them. That's kind of how they go. They're on their 7th generation now, and they're really, really cool. But the i3s, you can do maybe a little streaming from them in 720. The i5s is where they say, okay, now we can use NDI. Now we can do maybe 2 cameras. And they've got i7s, but then they've got the i7 Skull Canyon.
That's one that we have in our kits.
If you're trying to do up to 4 cameras, you could do 4 cameras over Thunderbolt. It's got 4 USB 3s. You can do 1080 on each. Or you could bring in multiple NDI cameras over the network because there's a gigabit NIC. So you can do a lot of cameras.
So, yeah, but 4 hardwired.
I would say 4 hardwired, and hardwired, as most people know, is good to go with. Let's move this up a little. Camera's a little off.
Hey, TV Fact.
But yeah, the NDI is opening up a lot, especially NDI HX, which a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, it's called high efficiency. But imagine how many more cameras you can get when you're only taking up 10 megabits of streaming data, and you've got a gigabit pipeline or gigabit network. You can get now 50 cameras. It's crazy. So
that is crazy.
More Canucks in YouTube. Excellent. Canucks. There's a lot of Canadians. Actually, the person who won the Facebook user group IP address was from Switzerland. His name was Martin. And he has 10 cameras, and he uses them for like curling or something, or like some type of sport that I had never really known too much about. But let's talk quickly about the upcoming shows. So October 22nd, which is right after NAB New York. So if you're on the East Coast of the United States, stop by New York.
You can actually meet us there. So
we're going to be there.
We want to see you. Make sure
the second day, because the first day will be a Back to Basics show.
Back to Basics.
So which we could cancel
on Thursday.
But yeah, we're going to go on a Thursday.
At this point.
October 17th is the Vid Summit concert conference in Los Angeles. So right after NAB New York, that the Friday after, we're going to be interviewing Corey Benke from LiveX, who has his 4K streaming studio in downtown Manhattan.
That's awesome.
So we plan that to have a little New York week. And then October 10th is your first ever Grow Your Show. So good idea on the title there, Taz.
Thanks. Oh, yeah, that was like live. We decided.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, let's call it the Grow Your Show, because it's all about getting you guys more cameras, and the audience gets to vote on who deserves it the most. And they're going to have 3 great guests, including Ken Richter.
Mm-hmm. Is your voting updating?
It should.
On what? Facebook Live reaction?
Here we go.
Maybe not.
Let me double check something here. Yeah, that should be.
Thomas Hendricks is trying to get to NAB New York, but not sure if he's going to be able to make it. We hope you can make it.
I don't see why it wouldn't be updating.
Skip out on work and all your responsibilities and just come on over.
I don't know why that reaction question, because we were debating, should we use Facebook Live to count the votes for our Grow Your Show campaign?
Possibility.
If anyone on Facebook could give us a sad or a wow, I'm just wondering if it's working or not, because maybe it's not reliable enough. Maybe we should just use Google, because we know Google. Yeah, it's like a fun thing to do, but yeah, not everyone's on Facebook.
Right.
So we'll just use a Google form for the live. We did that for the streaming awards, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
Using data sources, and it's a great way to do a live audience engagement with. So we'll do that. I don't know why.
I think that covers us for all of our questions today.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
That is our show.
We'll see you Friday.
We will see you Friday. Bye.